Hello, it's Not Bad Cat here on December 25th, 2021 with your weekly Rimworld mod updates and uploads. To start us off, we have the mod Show Build Cost by cliffyq. This small quality of life mod will give you additional info for any item on what materials it needs to be built. This is especially helpful when viewing things in the research screen. If you don't have the materials needed because it caught fire in a raid and your pawns have no idea how to put out a fire without being lit on fire, it saves you the disappointment of doing all that research so you get to build exactly nothing. Or, if you are heavily modded, it's going to help you with all those new structures you added. Next up, the mod is Toggleable Shields by Owlchemist. This mod is primarily made for those that use the simple sidearms mod, so you no longer have to unequip the shield belt for your ranged pawns to fire their weapon. This is great for when you need to get your ranged pawn into position, then turn it off and you can start shooting. If you want to turn it back on, however, it treats it as though the shield broke, so you aren't getting the shield back for a while. So, no, you can't turn it back on right before the pikeman shoots. Now for the Show Stuff categories by Evelyn. This is another small quality of life mod that will tell you what structures and items, what they can be stuffed with. So you have metallic, woody, and stony. And if your mod list has a bunch of mods that add new types, this might be helpful for you. Or maybe you have too many mods. The next mod that we have is VFE Medieval Moat Changes by GonDragon. And this is an add-on mod to Vanilla Factions Expanded Medieval. One of the mechanics of VFE Medieval is digging your own moats. You can terraform soil down to shallow water or remove marshy terrain by filling it in. With this mod, you can now dig down on rich soil. Previously, rich soil was untouchable. However, you cannot return the tile to rich soil. It will just become a regular soil tile. So if you're so tired of your pawns being angry because a tree had to be cut down, show them who's boss and salt the earth. The big change comes on desert maps. Having limited ability to grow your crops is part of the biome's difficulty. Previously, you could fill in any sand tile to get regular soil. This mod says no more. You have to dig down from sand to get rocky soil, and that's the best fertility you get. Plus, each time you dig down in sand, you have a 50% chance of getting more sand. This is a new mod. It is Resource Rebalance by Boomer. Once you're late game, plasteel is easy to get with a deep drill. And yet, Nutrimine and Synth Thread remain something your pawns are incapable of making. You're reliant on traders who can be incredibly fickle. And when you've lost all your medicine because insects spawned in your hospital and your trigger-happy pawn on Yayo with a machine gun had the time of his life, you probably want to patch up all the friendly fire wounds. Well, now it's possible to craft plasteel components, Nutrimine, and Synth Thread. One thing, plasteel and components are no longer found on maps for you to mine, and you can't get plasteel from the deep drill. At the smithy, 75 steel and 25 chem fuel creates 50 plasteel. At the machining bench, 15 steel nets you 1 component. Good for early game. Nutrimine is craftable at the drug lab. 10 chem fuel and 1 herbal medicine makes 1 Nutrimine. It's a little concerning that you are putting chem fuel into your colonists' veins, but you also give them yayo because they tried to romance the same pawn 5 times today. Synth Thread needs 45 cloth and 5 plasteel to make 25 Synth Thread. You might not be interested in crafting it since you've got thermal fur parkas and devil strand dusters, but this mod adds a new fabric named Synth Strand. You'll need 45 devil strand and 5 plasteel to make 25 Synth Strand. Yes, it's better than devil strand, but not as good as hyperweave. Here we have Vanilla Outposts Expanded by Oskar, Potocki, and the Vanilla Expanded team. Does your ideology require you to be charitable? Are you forced to take in the no dumb labor, no skilled labor pawn because it makes your colony grumpy if you don't? Is it really that charitable if you banish them or cause an accident to happen? Or is someone throwing a tantrum every day because he's unhappy he was imprisoned? Now, all your useless pawns can become useful. Send them to Outposts. Give them a better life. At an Outpost, they're always fed, they're always happy. It might look similar to the Outposts of the Empires mod, but this is a much more simplified version. All you need to do is caravan a pawn to a location and create an outpost. You'll have plenty of options to choose from, and the more pawns you send, the better. Every quadrille, you'll get resources from them. You can create encampments as stop points for your useful pawns to rest and regain their mood before they go to take out a tribal faction. Don't need an outpost anymore? Tell them to pack up and leave. If you have more than one pawn, it'll take less time for them to pack. After that, they form a caravan. Do you want to recall a pawn or two because everyone in your colony is dying from Randy sending too many centipedes? You can have your not-so-worthless now pawn caravan their way back to your skeleton of a colony. But careful, your outpost can get raided. Stock your outpost with pawns equipped and ready for battle, or they're on their own. They gave you however many quadrums of free stuff. And we have an update for the Combat Extended mod by N7Huntsman and the Combat Extended team called Boom Headshot. I've never played with Combat Extended. It has a lot of guns, and this ammo only works with this gun, but they all have numbers and I'm supposed to know what goes with what. Update 4.4 introduces the called shot system, where you can target specific points on the body. Maybe that makes sniper rifles useful. There's also a bunch of compatibility patches. And maybe your pawn will get hurt when he stands in an explosion or is walking away without looking at the explosion. Maybe one day I'll play Combat Extended, but I already make bad enough decisions telling my pawns to fight. And that wraps up the mod updates and uploads for this week of December 25th, 2021. If you're interested in any of these mods, you can find links to them in my description. And if you enjoy hearing about the latest Rimworld mods, please like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Also, share it with others. It's a great way to find a new mod for your next colony. I'm Not Bad Cat, and I'll see you next week.